My goodness. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tired Witches podcast. It's Olivia here, doing a solo journey for now, talking all things Sarah J. Maas, however you pronounce it, and her interview on Call Her Daddy. Say hi. Say hi. If you're not joining us over on TikTok, we are live also on YouTube. I'll be able to see all the comments there. Hopefully, I do have some mods over on the TikTok live. But yeah, we're just here to chat all things kind of crazy. Um, all things that she talked about on her podcast with Call Her Daddy. We got some massive news. I actually thought we'd get more than what we got. For some reason, I had like a whole notebook ready to take notes because the teaser for her podcast with Call Her Daddy had her answering like or asking a lot of questions, which we got, but she kind of skirted around a lot of them and didn't answer most of the questions, which I was worried about, but it is what it is. Um, we found out that we do have release dates. ACOTAR 6 is October 27th, and ACOTAR 7 is January 12th. Now, here's the thing with both of these. It's supposed to be kind of like a trilogy, I guess, but not really. People in my comments are telling me that she said it's not a trilogy. However, I think at the same time, it can be seen as a trilogy, right? If it's three books dedicated to one character or one storyline, wouldn't that make it technically a trilogy? You would think so, right? That that would make it technically a trilogy. Um, but yeah, uh, that's where we're currently sitting at. We also got news that there's going to be another book, the third book. I'm assuming we're gonna get that next year because she said she doesn't want us to go long periods of time in between the books. So I'm assuming we're getting ACOTAR 7 in January and then ACOTAR 8 sometime next year. Um, but who do we think it's about is the question, right? That is the main question. Who is the book about? Now, I think it's interesting. She stated clearly that when she sat down to write this, it kind of surprised her. Um, so I'm thinking that our first book, at least the POVs, is going to be shocking, right? I don't think it's going to be Elaine. Elaine is the obvious choice. So my thought process here immediately is going to be if she's surprised by what happened, hello everyone over on YouTube and TikTok, then it's not going to be the obvious choice, which is Elaine. So it could it be like different main characters for each book? Could, right? So I guess 'cause she mentions an arc, right? That these books are one long arc and one long story she wanted to tell. And then she does talk a lot about the mating bonds, right? So I think maybe that's the theme there is dealing with mating bonds and versus free will, right? Um, because she discusses how Elaine is really struggling with biology and that mating bond versus her free will, her free choices. That she does find Lucian hot, but maybe that's not the guy for her type of deal. Um, but she didn't actually kill them as a couple. A lot of people were freaking out. I saw on Twitter saying that she basically killed Elaine and Lucian ending up together. Is it Lucian or Lucian? Um, I disagree. I think that if anything, it basically states that she's going to struggle with free will versus the mating bond. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's not at the end going to then choose the mating bond, right? She could go out exploring, which Sarah said, that she really liked writing that aspect with Selenia in Throne of Glass or Aelin in Throne of Glass. She liked that trying out different relationships. So could we see that with Elaine, you guys? Could we see that narrative with Elaine where she tries out a relationship with Az, sees it doesn't work, right? The free will aspect, and then goes back to the mating bond, right? I don't know. Wild theory. Throne of Glass crossover is the reason it got so big. Part one will. Ooh, maybe I could see that. Exactly. Lucian's been so patient with her. That's kind of been his whole brand, is that he understands that she needs time. So if she goes out and explores other relationships, I could see it still leading back to the end game of it being Lucian, you know? Lucian. Hmm, I'm hoping as books. I definitely think we're getting Azrael's POV has to be in one of these books. My thought process, and she said it was surprising. I think book one is mainly Azrael focused, and then book two is Elaine, and then I think book three leads to more. A lot of people are saying Amryn. I, what do I care about Amryn? You know what I'm saying? Just gonna be quite honest with you guys, I genuinely don't care about Amryn. If you guys could like and share the live over on TikTok, I'd appreciate that. Exactly, this makes me think Elaine and Azriel don't end up together. That's my thought process. My thought process is she's gonna try it with Azriel, right? The free will aspect, but it's not going to work. So there's a lot of ways this could be, I guess, interpreted. But I feel like the people on Twitter who are celebrating saying that she's completely killed one of these couples, I disagree. I disagree. Um, Azriel and Gwen, yeah, I see that happening. Why would you put that bonus scene in if you're not going to do anything with that? You know? And it's just so cliche for all of the Bat Boys to end up with all of the sisters. To be quite honest with you, I think it's so cliche. I hope we get a lot of Eris. I think what she killed here was the people who think Nesta and Eris belong together. She completely killed that because she says that Cassian and Nesta are true mates. You know that's like the true love mate. Um Val parts 2 and 3 brings Crescent City characters on part. That's a long story, maybe. I could see it being more of like how the first few books were, right? Which is the war. And then we had like the standalone with Nesta. So this could be an overarching more themed, but with different character POVs in each one. Tamlin's redemption arc is not happening. You guys, she basically hates Tamlin. I don't know how else to look at that. She hates Tamlin. I'm sorry. She was like comparing him to domestic abusers, saying that if she wrote his redemption arc that it would look like you're forgiving his actions, even though she does say Rhysand does some stuff that Tamlin did. Like, I'm like, she does not like Tamlin. Um, I would just wish for Rhys and Feyre. I actually do think in one of these books she has to jump back to their POVs. Wouldn't that make the most sense? Because that was a big complaint. So if she does, someone mentioned like a Song of Ice and Fire style with multiple POVs in the books. If she does that, technically we could get her jumping back to Feyre and Rhysand and them dealing with the aftermath of what they went through in A Court of Silver Flames and having a baby and being a parent. So, oh, that's right, you haven't watched the podcast yet. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Lindsay. She was all over Tamlin, in my opinion. She was not about Tamlin. She didn't even mention Eris at all, did she, in this podcast? Did she mention Eris at all? I don't think so. Mm, yeah, I don't think she mentioned Eris once at all in this entire thing. I'm so glad you watched me. Oh, I was sat and I took notes. Um, she also said that she's has a deadline that she's working on something currently. I'm assuming that is the final book here, since we already have the release dates for part 1. And just to confirm, someone in the comments, let me know. Did she say that ACOTAR 7 is basically 2 and 3 together? So ACOTAR 6 is part 1, and then ACOTAR 7 is part 2 and 3 together. Did she say that in the podcast and I missed it? She did say that in the podcast. That's so interesting to me. So that tells me if it's one long arc, right? ACOTAR 6 has to end on a cliffhanger, but then ACOTAR 7 kinda doesn't end on as big as a cliffhanger as 6 if she's willing to give us time in between. Because she straight said she didn't want to give us ACOTAR 6 and then have us wait a year for kind of a conclusion to that, but then also that there would be another final piece to this arc. So what could this like, my brain you guys, I'm struggling to think. Like, what could that possibly mean? I truly don't understand it. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing the live. It's been so long since I've read the books. Just to declare a big betrayal. Someone she didn't mention anything about a big betrayal, right? So they did ask about Moore's power. Um, but she kind of skirted around a lot of the questions. So, like, most of the questions they asked, she was like, "I can't tell you that. It's potentially coming up." Now, she did mention when they asked her the question, "How to Faye get into the House of Wind?" She said that is going to be answered coming up. Which, if the House of Wind is in the books, wouldn't that be more as in, like, not Elaine? Because who's at the house up there? I don't know. Do we have any idea of what 6 is going to be about? We don't. The assumption is something to do with Elaine, whether that's Az's story, because she said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when she sat down to write this in Montana, right, that she was surprised by what POV came out of her when they asked her for the POV. So in my mind, that means that it is not Elaine because everyone thinks the next book is Elaine. So she could have had Az jumping in there, giving his POV, and then we get like a mixture there. Because technically, Az's storyline, even if it's not with Elaine, is intertwined with Elaine. And so therefore it could be a long period of ACOTAR 6 being his story. Elaine is involved because they try it out, her free will choice. And then ACOTAR 7 is Elaine realizing that she does want to go the mating bond route. I don't know. I'm dying to know where in Montana. When the name and book cover comes out, won't we get a sneak peek because of the summary? Yes. Well, that's why. And she did not want to reveal the name. And she also didn't want to be revealed POV, which is interesting because it's already March and the book is coming out in October. So I'm like, girl, just give it to us. Just give us the titles at least, right? Yeah, just give us the titles. Yeah, exactly. Can't tell us whose POVs it's from because Sarah said no. And that was one of the like surprising things for me in like writing this and what came out. You get a lot of insight into various things. So could that mean that it is like a multi POV book? More than just Elaine and Az or Elaine and Lucian or, like, could it be everyone kind of getting their thoughts in here over a long story? Hello, Estella! When the book comfort comes out. Yeah. I think we're gonna learn that Lauren's art she wouldn't answer anything about, like, maybe being connected to things. She would not answer any of that, which I was like, "Give us something. Give me a little bit of anything, okay?" But didn't she also say, you guys, that didn't she mention that when she sat down to do gardening while writing A Court of Silver Flames, Elaine was in her head, and that got her writing Elaine's story? So then I'm like, why wouldn't ACOTAR 6 be Elaine? I think we definitely get the title and cover before we get the blurb, to be quite honest with you guys, because the blurb is gonna reveal way more. The title is not going to reveal as much, and the cover's not going to reveal as much as the blurb will. So it's still going to keep people guessing a little bit with just revealing the title and cover. So I think we get that. I think we get that probably before summer. I would say, in my opinion, I don't know how publishing works, but when I would ideally see that coming out within the next month or two, still spring, and then summer you get the blurb to build up anticipation for the release in October. Because we're already in March, you guys. It's March 4th. Like time is flying by, you know? It'll be multi POV. Yeah. Going back to the Throne of Glass style of writing, which did work really well for her, so we know that she can pull that off. Yeah. I wonder when we will get a little summary for the books. That's definitely not gonna happen. You haven't even read the books, so girl, you've got to read these books. I mean, it's a lot at this point. I've not read Crescent City, and I now know I have to before the next book comes out. I know I'm going to have to read those big books before the next ACOTAR book. I've got till October, so I've got time. I have a thought the cover title will be around May or June. Okay, I could see that too, you guys. May, June. See, I still think it comes out earlier. April, May is going to be my guess. Is this live gonna be up after? Yes, it will be up live on YouTube right after. Ashley is also getting ready to join. She's gonna pop in. Oh, Jasmine, we should buddy read. I should make it like a group thing. We should buddy read Crescent City. Um, because that thing is I'm gonna need someone to keep me on track. That thing is thick. It's a thick boy. I'm a little worried about that. She also mentioned the TV show, which is fascinating, you guys, that she has all rights back. So that's kind of dead in the water right now. She wants to focus on the books and getting that out to us first before jumping into any TV show or movie adaptations because she wants to be very, very involved. She wants to, I'm assuming, be kind of showrunner in this. And therefore that's going to take up a lot of her time. So it makes sense that she would jump into giving us the books first and finishing it. Yeah, let's all buddy read. So I have a few people here who still need to read Crescent City. Thank God, it's not just me. Um, but what did she say? So I don't know who Bryce and Hunt are, but that they are true mates and that uh Bryce and Adriel are not a thing. I know that a lot of people had shipped them online. She killed that. So there were things that she killed. But I do not think she completely demolished. What I think is fascinating is she mentions that Elaine is going to be struggling a lot, which we see with like the depression with her turning Fae, but that was also Nesta's whole storyline, right? And I think it's going to be interesting to see the audience's take on Elaine versus Nesta because they were so aggressive with Nesta and how Nesta handled dealing with that trauma versus Elaine, who's much more quiet, calm, and internalizes a lot of it, right? So I'm very curious to when we do get Elaine's book, and y'all know I'm a Nesta girl. I love me some Nesta. So it's fascinating to me that I think that's gonna be one of the issues with that's why I don't want I don't want all 3 books dedicated to just Elaine. I don't. I don't wanna sound like an Elaine hater because I'm not, but giving her that much time while overlooking and Nesta's story and kind of rushing Nesta's and giving Nesta just 1 book is what about claiming 10? I was waiting for someone to ask. I was waiting for someone to ask a Boys of Tommen question. What about claiming 10? We have no news. I think Elaine will have a dark side. Can you expand on that? What do you mean by dark side? Because technically Nesta had like that, like, would you call it a dark side? That bitchy side. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure what you would even technically call that. I think Elaine will have a dark side. I think Elaine is going to struggle deeply with being told how she should feel. And it'll be interesting to see Reese's point because he's the big cock blocker, shall we say, right? Between Az and Elaine. So I think it's going to be interesting that she's going to have these societal standards of really you should be focusing on the mate bond because that is seen as like the ultimate true love, right? Um, you should be focusing on that, but she doesn't feel that pull. She wants her own choices because all of her choices have been taken away from her. You know, I could see her then rebelling in that instance and going away from the mating bond, but using that as a life lesson to come back around to the mating bond. That's how I could see this working. I know that's going to make a lot of uh, fans upset, but I still do not think Azrael and Elaine end up together just because I think it's super cliche to have all of the Bat Boys end up with the sisters. And I think that she likes to change things up in a lot of ways there. What do you guys think about what she said about Tamlin? What do we think about her opinions with Tamlin? Thank you guys who were watching over on YouTube and over on TikTok liking the live. If we get ACOTAR this year and C10, I mean, that's currently the plan, right? Um, we are definitely getting ACOTAR this year. There's a release date. That is confirmed. So unless something major happens to push that, which I don't see, I'm assuming it's already fairly edited and ready to go. But I don't know how publishing works. Um, so we're definitely getting ACOTAR this year, and the plan was to get 2 Boys of Tommen books. That was the plan. I don't know where we currently stand on that, obviously. There's been no news there. So, yeah. You guys let me know if you have any questions. How are we feeling? What do you think about the trilogy? Is it really a trilogy? People were arguing, like I said. Um, what do we how are we feeling about that? Have who's in here who's never read ACOTAR? ACOTAR is like the intro to book talk, isn't it? I feel like that was really my big intro to book talk. Like I started reading Bridgerton because of the Bridgerton show, but what really got me into book talk was ACOTAR. So I feel like if you're on book talk, most people on book talk have read ACOTAR. So the dark. Yeah. Hi, Estella. Hi, Estella. You're the only one in here who hasn't read ACOTAR. That's crazy. Ashley's getting ready to pop in, you guys, so we can talk to her about her thoughts. Um, yeah, you read ACOTAR in 2024. So I also haven't read Crescent City. It's literally sitting right over here. It's just such a hefty book, and for big fantasy books that are more than one book, but it's more than a standalone, I have to be in like a certain mood. and I haven't been in a mood to return to that world because I know it is kind of interconnected with ACOTAR. So I, even as a Nesta girly, I feel like I probably should because I've heard that it is a rite of passage. Like ACOTAR and then you're right. ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, Fourth Wing. Like it's like a stamp card when you get into book talk. They're like, you've got to read these series. Still haven't read the others. If I were to read, how many books am I in for? Oh, good God, Estelle. Okay, so you have ACOTAR right now is one, two, three, four, 5 books, but it is kind of connected to two other series, Throne of Glass, which is one, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, and then Crescent City, which is currently 3 books. They're all kind of connected together, but you could read ACOTAR alone, but you would need to read the other ones eventually, especially before jumping into the next books. Should I do the tandem read for Throne of Glass or read separately? I did the tandem read. Um, but yeah, I did the tandem read. Are you talking about Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn? I did the tandem read for those two. Why do you think it's Gwen and as based on evidence that you've seen? Because I'm having trouble getting off the El Real train. I just think I think it's super cliche to do all 3 Bat Boys with all 3 sisters. I think that is what is expected, and I think she mentioned exploring other relationships before settling down in the very beginning of the podcast. So I could see her, what Elaine really struggling with society telling her that the mate bond is what she should want, but she wants her own choices. And so she struggles internally with that. Um, and it's something different than what we've seen. So then she rebels and goes after what's not the mating bond. But at the end, it will lead back to because Lucian's also been super patient with her. He's been so patient, you know? He's not a bad guy. He's not. And I just truly believe that, and I could be wrong. Maybe she does go the route of all 3 Bat Boys end up with all 3 sisters. But I feel like that leads to a very stereotypical storyline. I don't know. Because she could even do it where she does give up her what she truly wants, which is Az, and goes to the mating bond and is miserable, like Rhysand's parents, right? And or is it no, it was Rhysand's parents, who is miserable in that bond, or she struggles with the choice she actually wants. So it could be done really either way, but I think ultimately we look at the mating bond, I think is going to be where she heads. I feel bad. But something about why does he give you the ick? There's no he's so nice. Is it because he's too nice? He's like that nice guy. You're like, "Oh, he's too nice." Oh, poor nice guys. Yes. Oh, the graphic audios too. Yes, I've heard the graphic audios are really good. Where's the other friend you go live with? She is getting ready. She's putting on makeup. She was asleep. She had a bad migraine. So she is going to hop in here soon. But yes, Crescent City books remind me of Cruel Prince. Oh, interesting. Has anyone else who's read Crescent City get that vibe? Too healthy for me. Red flag. Red flag. You guys, red flag. We're complaining about him being too healthy of a relationship. Oh my gosh. The fan edits of him. I haven't seen any fan edits of him. Everything I've seen is as an Elaine, to be honest with you. Maybe that's why I don't want as and Elaine to end up together because I feel like it's like so shoved in my face. I'm like, oh, it's just so there in my face all the time. The pink and blue heart and music mean. What do you think the pink and blue heart? In her Instagram post, I think it means boy and girl. I think it's just something simple as it's a boy and girl. Why? What are people's theories there? And what was the music? You guys, what did she post on Instagram that I missed? I saw something, but I wish I had the words to express how grateful I am, truly, deeply, overwhelmingly grateful to be able to share this news with you. Blue and Pink Heart. In just a few short months, ACOTAR 6 and 7 will be yours. I know how long you've waited. I know how much these characters mean to you, and I also know these stories deserve more than speed and deadlines. They deserve my best self. They deserve the right moment. When the moment came when I thought would be one book very quickly became something else. The story just kept expanding, and I couldn't wait to share a single part of it any longer. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for never letting this world fade. I'm so honored by the way you guys have always embraced Parthian as your own. I truly hope it feels like coming home for you. Is there music in the actual post? Yes, Lucian does deserve to be happy, you guys. He does deserve to be happy. I stand by that. I stand by that. Yeah, is there music in the actual post? I don't think so. No, there's not. But there's music notes. How interesting. Yeah, so what do we think about what she's currently working on? Because she said she's currently, that has to be the part 4, right? I kind of remember that he got kind of weird and shady when he left the spring court. Well, because he left his best friend, right? Like, I think he's allowed to be, like, a little upset that he left his best friend for Elaine, and he's kind of, like, been kicked to the curb. He's done a lot of things to protect Elaine as well, and she's really kind of like, "Don't touch me," you know? So I feel like he's allowed to be a little bit upset about that, but he's not, like, aggressively upset. He's not, like, trying to force her to be with him. I feel like he's still very understanding of it all. Um, deep diving into her clothes and her nails and necklace like it's Easter eggs. I don't think is Sarah that way though, you guys? Is Sarah that way where she's going to add all those Easter eggs? Hello, hello.
Hey.
How
Hello.
are you?
I'm tired.
Welcome, Ashley, everybody. We've been talking, obviously, the news. Did you watch the podcast? Yes?
No, I was at Nellie's basketball game, but I read all the updates and stuff.
So you know that we're getting ACOTAR 6, October 27th, ACOTAR 7, January, but it's still not completed. So it's the third book is yet to be announced. So there's 3 more ACOTAR books. The next 3 are one big story that she separated into 3 books.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun second half of the year, that's for sure.
So yeah, so then the question is, what story could be so big that I'm like, really, Elaine, this big of a story, just Elaine? There's no way.
I don't know. I mean, it's the fact that we don't know who her confirmed mate is, so that's why it's a little bit more complicated. I don't know. It's been so long since I have read Silver Flames, so I'm gonna need a reread to refresh.
Oh, I read it. I love my Nesta girl, so I read it all the time. Even though Cassian pisses me off hardcore in that book. But my thought process and what a lot of people are saying is she said in the podcast that it's not a trilogy, even though it's 3 books with one storyline. I'm like, isn't that technically a trilogy?
And they're both full-length books? Wow.
She didn't say it was a novella. She said that ACOTAR 7 is part 1, ACOTAR 6 is part 1, ACOTAR 7 is part 2 and 3 together. And then she's currently working on part 4, which would be the 3rd book.
Interesting.
Ashley, who do you think Elaine would end up with?
Probably Lucian, honestly.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's my thought process is because she mentions in the podcast that Elaine is really going to struggle with free will versus like the forced mating bond. So my thought process is she's going to go experiment with Az and her free will choice, but it's going to ultimately lead back to Lucian. Or Lucian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So am I not gonna like this Elaine person? Estella says. Elaine just, in my opinion, so far in the book series, doesn't really have a personality. Because she's very quiet. She's like the quiet side sister, you know?
Her other sisters have pretty much taken on all burdens for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the hardships Nesta
Exactly.
and
We haven't
Feyre
gotten anything but
encounter.
Elaine gardening. It's the truth. It's the truth. So, like, that's why I'm like, how could you do why would I want 3 books on her? I wouldn't. You would have to give me several different POVs,
Yeah.
you know? I'm sorry that both of us are not as Elaine girls, so people are sorry. I just think it's so cliche to do that.
Well, I also have theories on Az that I'm not going to discuss because you have not read CC. So,
Oh, interesting.
mhm.
Most people in the chat haven't read CC either.
I've only read the first one and half of the second one, but I
But
saw
she kills
spoilers.
if it's Bryce and Ash, she kills that. She did mention that in the podcast.
Okay.
She said that Bryce and Hunt were the end game, and that Azriel and Bryce were not a thing.
Okay.
So if it's that, I already knew that because she
Kind of
does mention that
boring.
in the podcast.
That's kind of boring to me, to be honest.
Was that your theory?
Well, that's why CC was so hard for me to get through.
Because of Hunt?
Well, I like him, but it just I don't know. It didn't feel like all-consuming soulmate bond to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
But
neither do
I need to
Cassian
read.
and Nesta in their book. Like Cassian and Reese, maybe, but in A Court of Silver Flames, like I don't feel like it's all consuming. It's not the Feyre Rhysand love, you know?
Yeah, but the thing with Cassian and Nesta was at least we saw their love from other point of views.
That's true.
Whereas Crescent City, I have not seen it from another point of view. I've only seen it from Bryce's POV. And to me, I don't know, it just did not have that all-consuming mate type thing. And based on every Sarah J. Maas series, she does this red herring fake out. Look at
Yeah,
Throne
she
of Glass.
does.
So, I mean, if they're endgame, sure, that's great. But they're kind of lower on my ranking than for couples.
She did say in the podcast that they were endgame. That was one
Okay.
thing she would answer. So there's that. But that's why I think the fake out is gonna be as Elaine. I think that's gonna be the fake out.
I don't know. A lot of people really want Az and Gwen. So
I do too. But why would you put that Christmas story in there if it's not gonna be important at all?
I don't know.
Like, why would you put that in there?
My brain is trying to get into fantasy mode right now. It is not in fantasy mode. It's still like in Bridgerton La La Land.
I know, I
where,
know.
you know, historical facts and accuracy are just not a thing anymore.
Az and Gwen make more sense in my opinion. I
Yeah, they do in my yeah, that's what I think.
I agree.
I think Lucian and Elaine is exciting to me because you have it built up where she just does not want him for all of these books. That makes it exciting, you know?
But he's also been like so patient with her too.
Exactly. It's just that's a lot of people want it. I want it.
I'm so happy that we're both, because I know that's not the super popular. Like I feel like, what is
I
it?
just think
Elreal is more popular.
overall the main consensus of this fandom is that people just aren't that interested in Elaine compared to other characters.
Well,
So.
because she hasn't really had a personality, and someone made a comment like she's snapped at Nesta a few times. To me, that came out of nowhere and actually made me dislike her because Nesta has been so hardcore an Elaine defender. So her snapping at Nesta in A Court of Silver, and really, I was like pissed off. I was like, bitch, like Nesta has given up so much. Like, it annoyed me.
Yeah.
So it didn't make me excited for her character. Like, oh, there's something deeper going on here, especially because Nesta gets so much hate for snapping at others, but then Elaine is like kind of forgiven for it. I don't like that. So, okay, so you think one, we would get the title and cover in next month, like April, May, and then the blurb in the summer. That's how I feel. She would not give us the title. She wouldn't. So I think we get the title and cover, which still gives mystery within like the next month or two, April, May, and then we get the actual blurb of the book about who it's in the summer because the book is coming out in October.
What color do we think it'll be?
Ooh. It's got to be like a bright color, right? Yellow? Do we think it's yellow?
It could be yellow.
Because we have red, we have green, we have
I'd love to see a purple.
Well, isn't the A Court of Wings and Ruin kind of it's like a pinkish
That's like
purple?
that's hot pink. What are you talking about?
I do not think that's hot
That is
pink. I think that's
hot
like
pink. What
I
are
think that
you
is like
talking about?
I think it's a pinkish purplish.
No. Like a lavender or something would be pretty.
A lavender would be pretty. Yeah, I think
I know that
Grandmaster.
color is used for the Mist and Fury in Reese's point of view.
Oh, what is lavender?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, I think you can get it on Etsy or something, but somebody like made the cover look exactly like the series, but it's in a light purple.
I could see yellow. You could even do a brighter green if it is Elaine, right? People are saying purple.
I think purple. Because we've had blue. I mean, blue was kind of wasted on the novella, but maybe we'll get another shade of blue at another time.
Yeah, but that then also kind of leads into because A Court of Mist and Fury is a shade of like bluish green. But we have 3 more books, so I mean, we kind of need more colors, really.
Well, that's why I think purple and yellow are left to like fill out that primary rainbow.
Hi. Hello, hello.
So maybe after that, like just maybe different shades.
I could see that. Oh, yeah. I could see that. I wonder what the plot will be besides actual romances for it to be 3 more books. So that's the next thing. Clearly, there is a large plot going on.
I think on the side, at least in one of these 3 books, there will be another pregnancy because of what Nesta did in Silver Flames.
Oh, interesting.
Remember how she altered their like wounds
Yeah.
or whatever, so there
Yeah.
would be none of these scares anymore?
So you think Nesta?
Somebody. There's 3 books, and I mean, Nesta literally said in that book, "Hey, we don't have to worry about having
What if
Batboy babies anymore."
what if Elaine gets pregnant with Az's baby, but then chooses Lucien?
That is so messy. That is so messy.
What if that? What if that's it?
We're not turning this into a telenovela.
Oh, you never know. You never know.
Oh my goodness. Could you
And she did talk
imagine?
about her pregnancy a lot in the podcast today.
Okay. Well,
about her
that
personal
woman has
pregnancy.
a breeding kink, so
What if Elaine wants a baby but Nesta didn't change hers? Didn't Nesta change all of theirs?
I thought she did.
I think Moore is a traitor, so do I. But I
I
don't
haven't
know.
read Silver Flame since like 2022, so I really need some rereads.
Oh, yeah, you got to get on that. Maybe we should deep
Besides,
dive
I
into
want
that.
my Dorian and Manon book. Give me that one.
She wouldn't answer any of these questions.
Mm.
Like a lot of the questions that she teased that she was like, I can't give that up. I can't say like.
I don't think if I got some kind of Throne of Glass news, oh my god, that would be insane.
She only changed hers and Feyre's. Why would she leave Elaine out?
Did they assume Elaine just would not be breeding with a bat boy?
I guess so.
Yeah,
Oh,
I definitely need to reread these.
interesting. No, stop. That's so scary. Yeah, I think Moore's the traitor. I think also people are guessing that this could be much like because she keeps saying it's not a trilogy, right? That's what everyone's arguing about in my comments because I mentioned that it's a trilogy. They're like, she says it's not a trilogy, and I'm like, but if it's the same storyline for 3 books, it's a trilogy, okay? If it's focusing on the same couple. So does that mean that it's not focusing on the same couple, but it's the
Oh,
same
wait a
story?
minute. I have another theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, we already know that she does have 2 books that she did a tandem style. What if she's doing that?
Ooh.
Because in Throne of Glass, you have Tower of Dawn and what's the other one? That take place at the same time because there's so much going on with too many characters. What if that is what's happening? Because look at the spacing of these 2 books coming out, October and January. That's 4 months. For 2 huge fantasy novels, ACOTAR, that's telling me I bet you these 2 books take place at the exact same time.
Oh, interesting. Uh-huh.
That's my theory, at least for now.
We'll get one going, Amber. We'll get one going. Amber said we need a thread in the Discord for ACOTAR. Yes.
We'll get one started for sure.
For sure. Especially now that we know, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Now we have release dates for books to talk about.
Yes, seriously. After 6 years. After 6 years.
Oh my, has it really been 6 years since oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time flies fast in the book world.
It really does.
Wow.
I haven't been waiting 6 years because I didn't read ACOTAR till 2024. 2024. So I've only been waiting 2 years, but the sport people have
I
been
read
waiting
it in
6 years.
2022, but still, that's wild. But yeah,
Also
I
she
think they're gonna
mentioned,
take place at the same time.
okay, I could see that. Then what is the 3rd book then?
Well, is it confirmed it's a novella?
It's not no.
It's not confirmed.
She said that this story is 4 parts, kind of like with Silver Flames. You have part 1, part 2, part 3. But part 1, as she was writing it, that it got so big that part 1 is ACOTAR 6. Part 2 and 3 is ACOTAR 7, and part 4 is ACOTAR 8.
I'm sorry, I'm texting Rachel or Grace to set up the.
Oh, Grace is already on it. Grace is already on
Perfect.
it.
Thank you, Grace.
Yeah, Grace is already on it.
Yeah, I don't know. My whole thing is that whole tandem was exciting and she's only done it once.
Yeah.
And she's clearly setting up something very big based on Crescent City and the need to read those as well. So I could see her doing another tandem style. I think that would be really exciting.
Yeah. Did you delete your videos? About what? No, I didn't. My videos are still up. about this. Yeah, so ACOTAR 6 is in 4 parts, exactly. But that's why I'm questioning why. But she's not calling it a trilogy. Well,
Okay, it's been so long since I read Silver Flames, so remind me what Elaine was doing in Silver Flames specifically.
being Favor's new bestie. She was very anti-Nesta, and like Nesta's got an attitude. She's gardening, and she's pushing Lucian away. She's like, no, 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 no. And then at one point, like, isn't it teased that like Elaine and Az like almost kiss? Yes, isn't that in Silver Flames? Or the
It's been
bonus?
so long. Like I said, could you see us going back a little bit to get more of Elaine's inner monologue feelings during these previous events?
No.
Okay.
I think not in those books. I think she would do it as like bonus chapters. Kind of like what she did with Nesta and Cassian. Um hanging at Favor's townhouse into the garden and flirting with Azriel is what she was doing in the Court of Silver Place, basically. Yeah. And being like, get over your shit, Nesta. Why? That's why she said here that Elaine's going through a lot from the trauma of being like forced to turn Fae. Nesta was too, and Elaine was all up Nesta's ass for how Nesta was dealing with it. So
yeah.
Grace. Part 1 is getting to be 400 pages or more, and part 2 and 3 is close to 1,000 pages. Close to 1,000 pages, then we still have another part. There's no way this is just Elaine's story. You guys, if I have to read 2,000
No,
pages of Elaine.
that's why I think that we're intertwining here. I think there's a lot going on.
Elaine does have powers like her, isn't it like the power she can like foresee
Isn't she a
events?
seer?
Yeah, I was gonna say. She can foresee, she can like see stuff. So maybe she knows she's gonna end up with Lucian and she's like, I'm gonna end up with him anyway. Let me go out and do some fun stuff on the side. Lindsay says, hi, Ashley.
Hello. You know what would be interesting about that is if she can like she tries to change every outcome and every time it ends with Lucian.
Oh my gosh.
That would be kind of a fun little plot.
Yeah, I could see that. Better be 1 page per word. I'm like 2,000 pages because if you're technically 3 books and the second book is 1,000 pages, what the hell? I do not want to read that much about Elaine, to be quite honest with you. I don't.
Which is why I think
You
there's
think we
other
get more
stories going
Nesta
on at
or
the
more
same
Feyre
time.
and Rhysand?
I don't need any more Feyre. I've had enough Feyre. Nesta just got set up with the Valkyries. Give me more of that.
Yeah.
Or give me Dorian and Manon.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't complain about that either.
ACOTAR 6 is Nesta with the Valkyries and Cassian, while also including Elaine in this, and then because she says they're closely tied. I could see it then being a tandem read with Elaine's story.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm team tandem. Well, you know I like tandems, so.
Do you have a reading guide for these books?
There is one online. If you just Google Throne of Glass tandem, there's multiple websites it's posted. I think it's also posted on Pinterest. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Yes, if you guys have not read ACOTAR, like I was saying earlier before you joined Ashley, it is like the stamp to get into book talk, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
So like you definitely need to read ACOTAR. especially because it's going to be the big news probably the next year and a half, all over Book Talk.
Next year could be pretty wild because isn't the next Fourth Wing supposed to come out next year?
So that's
2027.
not confirmed because she hasn't even started writing it yet. But that's the hopeful goal.
Could be a big fantasy year.
Yeah. It's like the gateway shrug to fantasy romance. It is. Yes, Isella. Borrowing my stepdad's copy of book 1. Your stepdad read ACOTAR?
It's kind of iconic, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, we 100% are gonna get Elaine's POV in one of these books. There's no question. I have no doubt about that, you guys. Like, that's not even a... Oh, I know. ACOTAR and Fourth Wing coming out in the same year.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's a big, big year.
Especially if we get 2 ACOTAR books next year. So if she releases the second and then the third of them at the end, like, that's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
Oh my, oh my. You haven't even finished Fourth Wing yet. You haven't read Onyx Storm.
No, but you said there's a lot of lore in there, so
Yeah.
I need to be like in the right mood to be reading that.
She also just said in this Call Her Daddy interview that when she went to write the book that she was surprised by what came out. So she could have been setting up for Elaine's book, but was surprised by the actual story. That she straight said that she was surprised by whose POV came out of her.
See, I'm Team Tandem. I'm Team Tandem. That's what I'm thinking.
Someone made a comment on my TikTok about it and was like, she's doing this to rob you all blind of money. And I was like, okay. And as long as I get my books, I don't care. Take it.
Oh my god. I'm tired.
There are 3 different books. Like, how is that robbing me of my money? Like, I don't
I'm
understand.
so tired of negativity. This is why I truly miss 2021 book talk.
Yeah.
You just read books and you shared your love of them. It was really great. Feels like a multiverse or something.
I know. I was like, what an interesting comment. Okay. I said that's when I was like, take it. Take my money. You're giving me new content. It's not like she's re-releasing stuff. And like, it's... Would you... Random question, but are you guys going to review the off-campus series that's coming out? Yes, we will.
Yes, we are. We are very excited. We are loving these adaptation reactions. We're having a lot of fun. It's just important to remember to hit record when you're watching.
I think it's going to be multi-POV like Throne of Glass.
Yep, that's what
Did she explain why she waited 5 years? She said that she had a lot of personal stuff going on that she didn't want to get into because it would have made her cry. She already cried talking about how personal the Court of Silver Flames is to her. And that a lot of that really struggled to write. So from what I got, and you guys could correct me, but from what I picked up, that post we got about her in Montana last year, that's when she actually started writing the book.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because she said that when she was in Montana, that's when inspiration struck. She felt like free to write there. So I think she was like in a writer's block because of personal stuff, which happens. And then, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like a lot of authors get their inspiration on a random trip to Montana. I've heard that before.
What's going on in Montana?
Montana's very, very pretty.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very pretty.
I don't think I've been in Montana. Where's Yellowstone?
It's like lower Montana into Wyoming.
Okay, I've been to Yellowstone, but I was also like 3 years old, so there's
Oh,
that.
yeah. I've
Doesn't
never been to
count.
Yellowstone.
Doesn't count.
No.
Oh, it's Wyoming. Yeah, okay. Yeah. She also did say about the TV adaptations, slash movie, that she has the rights back to everything, which we kind of knew because we knew the Hulu stuff was dead in the water.
Yeah.
And that she is not focused on that or selling the rights to it, because she wants to be very involved in whatever happens, because she wants, I'm assuming, like showrunner type of stuff. And she can't really do that if she's also writing the books, and she really wants to get the books out to us. So that's kind of on hold until she can put her full time and dedication into it, because she said she doesn't want someone to take her work and put out something that's inspired by the books. She wants a faithful adaptation of the books. And so she wants to be very much involved with it.
I love that.
Yeah, I was like, wow, oh, okay, girl. I mean,
I wonder if that decision also has to do with the fact that so many things are being adapted right now, and they're kind of straying away from source material. And she's like, nope, we're not gonna let that happen.
I wonder, and someone in our group chat mentioned maybe that was the problem with Hulu. Maybe Hulu wanted to change a bunch of things, and that's what was the holdup for so long.
Yeah, true.
So, want to do reads. Okay, any other questions before we wrap up? I don't feel like there's anything else she really didn't talk about. She skirted a lot of questions, honestly. No for ACOTAR series. We're talking ACOTAR. We have no other news to talk about, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, I'm okay with not having an adaptation for ACOTAR right now. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Ashley, have you started Edge of Darkness yet?
No, I just finished Liz Tom Fordy's new book. So good, by the way. Has anybody read that one? So good.
No, but I did get it on Kindle Unlimited, so.
Perfect. It is amazing.
Okay.
Well, finally some love for us old 30 somethings. Well, she's 34, really pushing it.
Oh, someone's asking about your thoughts on the Green Lantern trailer.
I don't do Green Lantern.
Okay, then.
I'm not very big on DC. Marvel, if you guys want to talk Marvel, let's chat away. DC,
Okay.
not no. Just no.
Okay, any final questions before we wrap up? I am a DC girl, but I haven't seen the trailer, so I couldn't answer it for you.
I'm sure your husband has.
I'm sure he has. Yes.
Yeah.
Considering. Did the trailer come out today? Maybe that's what he mentioned, a trailer coming out today, and he had to edit something about it. So,
just a reminder, you guys, we will have an episode up on Friday. I am covering Outlander. She does not watch it, but she kind of covers Game of Thrones by herself, and then I do Outlander. So if any of you guys watch that, we will have an episode up on Friday.
Yeah. Anyway, as always, like, subscribe, follow us over on YouTube at the THIS Witches Podcast. Follow me here on TikTok if you're watching over on TikTok. We're going to be doing lots more, obviously, talking about ACOTAR coming up, theories, spoilers, potential deep dives. We'll keep you guys updated on that. Thank you, as always, for joining.